Our legal analyst, attorney Jim Hammer, is back to talk more about today's hearing. I want to go back to this issue of standing. It's confusing to laymen like me. When the court accepted the case, then they decided to question whether they should have accepted the case.
It's an incredibly unusual case in that respect, and I think what you're seeing in part is the court is really wrestling with how to decide the decision. Sometimes you'll see blocks emerge in the court, maybe 4 on one side, 4 on another, and there's a clear swing vote. I think you saw it by today's arguments, the kind of questions, and again, a lot of the justices on opposite sides, Pam, wrestling with this, should this case really be here, that they're actually uncomfortable with right now, coming together and making a decision. I think there's a really good chance this ends with almost no decision at all, saying, oops, we took it too soon.
So what is the role of politics in all of this, or the public opinion? How does that affect the court?
You know, listen, these are 9 justices, 9 American citizens that came from different presidents, different political backgrounds, but they're not blind or dumb. They watch the news, they watch the development of societal mores and thinking on this. And I think the fact that a majority of Americans are now supporting same-sex marriage, that a bunch of prominent Republicans filed a brief with this court, Bush administration officials saying, Dick Cheney, I support, exactly, I support gay marriage now. Again, that's not blind. And the question is, are they going to get a little ahead of a public opinion and be a leader on this, or are they going to say, let's let it percolate for a little while, let's let the states decide, and we'll come back and visit again.
Percolate was actually used in some of the discussion today.
And it was by one of Obama's appointments. That might be the surprise today, that progressive, a liberal appointee, Justice Sotomayor, actually herself said, shouldn't we let the states figure this out for a little while?
Okay, now what happens between today, they've heard the arguments, and June when the decision is announced? Do they go into little meetings, or what do they do now?
This is the really interesting part. Those 9 justices who are accountable to no one now will go into a room, they'll have a conversation, and they will vote. That vote will tell us who's in the majority. You and I won't know that. Whoever's in the majority among that group, whoever is the most senior justice, either he or she will write the opinion or appoint somebody else to do it. And then another surprise can happen. During the writing of this opinion, they can actually change their mind. They can bring other votes along. And so till it's done, it's not done. Sometime in June or July, you and I will hear what happens.
Supporters of same-sex marriage having big rallies in San Francisco yesterday, today another one. Should they be optimistic, or should they maybe cool their optimism now?
If I were a betting person, again, going in today, I think there was a sense that this might be the chance for the sort of the great opinion on this. I didn't know how it'd come out, but they actually might speak definitively on it. I think the chances went up today of a much more limited opinion, perhaps along the lines of standing, saying, since California, the state of California isn't fighting this, we shouldn't do it. They might do a much more limited opinion. But the issue won't go away. Someday, if not this year, it will come back to the Supreme Court, and this court will decide whether or not same-sex couples have that constitutional right. It just might not come this year.
All right. Jim Hammer, thank you for your analysis, helping us understand what's going on. Catherine.